this is my life out here on the road, and it's an honor for me to share it with you, so that you can see, or listen to the things that I go through out here on a daily basis. Some of these videos are educational, like how to hook or unhook a trailer, slide your tandems, or how to operate a Qualcomm, or things like that. But some of these videos are rants in which something that's happened or something that I've seen or been involved in has set me to speak on the topic. Right? And some of them are just because I just have something on my mind that I want to share. But ultimately, it's all my life out here on the road. And today, I've got a subject that I would like to talk to you about. All right. Let me first begin by saying that I'm a lot of things in life. Only one of them is a trucker. I am a husband, and I fall short there. I don't always, I'm not always the best husband that I can be. I try to be, but I'm just a guy. I've got a lot of failings in my life, and I try to be the best husband I can be, but I know I'm not. And I'm a dad. I got 2 stepkids, and neither one of them are mine by blood. They've each got different dads. They're not my sons. They're mine. Those boys belong to me. I love the boys, both of them. And they're my boys. And I'll be as hard on them as I feel like I need to be in order for them to be the best men that they can grow up to be. But I'm not going to let anybody else be hard on them. They're my boys. I love both the boys. I'm not the best dad that I can be. I fall short a lot of times. Sometimes I'm too hard on them when they need to be given a break. Sometimes I'm not hard enough on them when they really need, they need some discipline. But they're my boys. They don't come with instructions. I do the best that I can do. Sometimes it's not good enough. I'm a Christian, and I'm definitely not the best Christian I can be. I fall short there so much it's not even funny. We don't even need to get into all that. There's a lot of things I do and have done that fall short. And I try. I work at it. I'm pretty opinionated, and I've got some things that I don't agree with. But it's a daily process. I'm a better man today than I was 10 years ago. But I'm also a philosopher. And I don't try to say that I come up with much original work, because there's not a lot of original out there. For those of you that have a bit of an education, you may be surprised for me to say that I'm both a Christian and a student of Frederick Wilhelm Nietzsche. I don't know if you know who Nietzsche is, but Nietzsche is definitely not a Christian. And in a lot of ways, his philosophy is in direct opposition to the Christian view. He doesn't believe in God, or didn't believe in God. He doesn't believe in anything now because he's dead. But he didn't believe in God, and as a matter of fact, he had a very low opinion of the Christian church. And, and I can't honestly say that I blame him. But one of the things that he taught was, he made this statement, and this statement has stuck with me for a long time. Okay? The statement that he made was, if you cannot teach men to fly, teach them to fall faster. Think about it. Let it sink in. Try to get an idea of what is meant by it. You cannot teach man to fly, teach him to fall faster. Nietzsche believed that within each individual person you had the ability to strive for greatness. Alright? But he also believed that people's religious viewpoints or people's religions kept them from ever attaining any type of greatness. Okay? He believed that we were handicapped in a lot of ways. And so his philosophy was to teach you to be the best that you could be, but if you chose not to be the best that you could be, if you chose to be less than you could be, then his philosophy was to let you fall and let you sort it out yourself. In other words, not to give you any help whatsoever. Right? Now, with that said, in this trucking industry, there are negatives and there are positives. You can't have one without the other. You know, you can't have a trucking job that's completely positive. You can't have a trucking job that's completely negative because they don't exist. There are positives and there are negatives in every trucking job that you have. There may be more negatives than there are positives, or there may be more positives than there are negatives, but you have both sides of the spectrum. And yes, as an individual person, it's your responsibility to take the negatives and make them as positive as you can make them. All right, that's your responsibility. I'm not even attempting to say that you know, everything should be good, because they're not. A lot of what's bad is bad only by your interpretation. All right, but at the same time, you have people out there that will tell you not to pay any attention to anybody that has anything negative to say, because you know, it's your responsibility to make sure everything's positive, and I don't agree with that either. I agree that no matter what situation that you go into, my philosophy or my belief is that no matter what situation that you go into in life, you should go into it fully aware of every part of that situation, everything, both positive and negative, all the good and all the bad. Right? You cannot make an informed decision about anything in this industry without understanding the negative aspects that may pop up and occur. You know, because if you ignore the negative, you're going to get slapped in the face with it. And that's just the bottom line. All right, here's the deal. You know, I'm going to put this out there because I have a lot of friends that are wanting to get into the truck driving business, or they are already students in the truck driving business. Some of them have just gotten out of school and they're out with their trainers. Some of them have just gotten out of their trainers' trucks and they're getting into their own truck for the first time. Right? Excuse me, I'm thirsty. So here's the deal. This business is negative. There's a lot of negatives in this business. There's a lot of positives in this business, but you need to understand the negatives. I mean, you have two types of negatives. The first is negatives that you go through and they come with the job and you understand it. I mean, you're not going to be at home. You're going to be out over the road. You're not going to see your kids, you know, stuff a lot of times. You're going to miss a lot of important things that are important to your kids. You know, you may miss anniversaries. My anniversary was last week. My anniversary was last week, and I'm out here on the road. You know, my wife celebrated our anniversary by herself. You know, those things come with the job. They're part of it. You know, I mean, in order to do the job, you have to be away from home, and that's just part of the life of a truck driver. You can't do anything about that. You have to understand it, and most people, on some level, understand it. A lot of people get out here in the truck, and, you know, they've been out here for 3 or 4 weeks. They start getting homesick. They don't like being out here no more. You know, they want to go home. You know, they're like, I didn't realize that I signed up for this. You know, and you know, they don't make it. They don't make it through their first 6 months because you know, they weren't prepared for the hardship that came with the job. But at some point, at some level, they knew what they were getting into. they just decided, once they had gone, the first part of it, that it just wasn't for them anymore. But there's other hardships or other negatives that you might not necessarily know that you signed up for. You might not know that these are things that you have to deal with as part of a truck driver. There's negative shippers, there's negative receivers. There's people that are just going to treat you like trash just because you are a truck driver, and and they're not going to they're not going to give you a break. You've got people that are reckless in their driving, that they're all over the road, and they cut you off and hit their brakes, or you need to get over because you're about to miss an exit, and you've been trying for a mile to get over and nobody will let you over. These things are frustrating. They're frustrating. They're difficult to deal with. They can make you angry. You got dispatchers that won't communicate with you. You got equipment that breaks down. You got trailers that are dropped full of trash, or bad wheels, or bad brakes, or bad lights, and the person that dropped it didn't take care of it. Now you're stuck having to waste your clock, getting it taken care of. And these are all negative things, and some companies will tell you, we're going to give you X amount of miles, and then you start driving for that company and you don't get but about half of that, and you expect to make more money than what you're making, and you get out here and you find out, well, hey, I picked a company, and the pay for this company isn't really all that it's cracked up to be. The miles aren't there. I'm spending more time sitting around doing nothing than I do making the loads that that I need to be making. And those are all parts of this job, and you have to be aware of it. There's certain things that make a good company, and every driver looks for different things. There's different things they have as priorities that they decide make a good company. One of the things that makes a good company is good equipment. You want good, upkept equipment that doesn't break down very often, or equipment that once it does start breaking down, they go ahead and they cycle it out and they get rid of it, trade it in, and get something better. That's one of the things that you want, in a good company. One of the things that you want in a good company are good miles. If you're a company driver, you're getting paid by miles, and you want to work for a company that, of course, pays good miles, because you're not going to make money if you're not making miles. You want a good company that pays good cents per mile. Okay, so, you either want to make a percentage of each load, and if you get paid on a percentage of each load, then you really don't want a lot of miles. You want less miles, more percentage. But if you're a company driver like I am and you're getting paid per mile, then you want a good mile. You want good mileage. You look at some companies may pay 30 cents a mile, but give you 3,500 miles a week. Another company may pay you 40 cents a mile, but only give you 2,000 miles a week. Well, which company's better to work for? Okay. You gotta look at those type of things. So you want to be paid good for your miles, so that you can, at the end of the week, take home a good paycheck. Safety bonuses and bonuses, those things make it a good company. Your benefits package, your dental insurance, your health insurance, your prescription plans, your 401k, those things all, make a big difference, in the quality of the company that you're with. Vacation time, home time, how good is the company at getting you home on your scheduled home time, or when do they allow you to take home time? These are things that you want to look at when you join in with a company, and all of those things can either be positive or negative. Okay. If you refuse to look at the negative aspects of a company, say for instance you have a recruiter with a company that says you're going to get paid 35 cents a mile and you're going to get between 3,000 and 3,500 miles a week. All right, but then you talk to a lot of people and they say, well, that's a bunch of crap. You're only going to get 1,700 to 2,000 miles a week. They're lying to you. All Alright, but then you've got a third person that comes in and says, man, don't listen to anything these guys are saying because they don't know what they're talking about. You know, you need to look at the company yourself, and then you need to decide for yourself whether you want to work for that company. Don't listen to these people that are saying that the company's lying to you. Okay, you know, you have to know all the good and all the negative before you make a decision to take any kind of a job. And this applies to McDonald's, you know, this applies to a cashier at Walmart, this applies to a factory job, this applies to being a yard jockey, this applies to being an over-the-road truck driver. You have to know all of the good and all of the bad of everything associated with being in that job. And if somebody is telling you not to listen to people who know the negative aspects of the job that you're interested in looking into, then that person is going to lead you to take a job that's not going to fit your needs, and you're going to be locked into this job, right, and getting screwed. And that's essentially what's going to happen. And you're going to do it because you didn't look at the negative aspects of the job. Now, if they say, you know, well, this and this is wrong with this company, and you're like, well, I can deal with that, that's not that important to me, and then you go and you decide to take that job, then you've done so with your eyes wide open. Okay, you've done so understanding the negative aspects or the possible negative aspects of that job, and at that point it's up to you to make the best out of everything that comes into that job. But if you do not know the negative aspects of the job that you're going to work for, and you take that job, and then you find out that they lied to you before you took that job, and that you're not getting treated the way that you were expected to be getting treated, then the fault is yours, and you don't have anybody to complain to except yourself. And I'm sorry, it's harsh, but that's the way it is. I do not agree with a person that only wants you to know the positive things. Yes, you do have a responsibility to be positive. Yes, being positive is ultimately your responsibility. But no, do not hide from the negative things, the negative aspects of the job. Take those, embrace them, know them inside and out, and then make your decision on what company you go to work for. Hey, there's negatives with my company. I'm the first one to admit it. They've got things they're talking about doing, or things they're thinking about doing, or things they're experimenting with doing that I don't like one bit. But overall, my company fit my needs over time. I went into this company knowing all the negatives. You know, as I've been in this company, I'm still learning, you know, upcoming things that are coming up that may be negative, you know, and, you know, I'm not hiding from those things, okay? Those are part of life out here on the road. You know, and so I'm just saying that it's your responsibility when somebody tells you to do your homework. You know, that doesn't mean you know, what kind of trucks do they have, and how good is their school. You know, that doesn't mean do I get an APU or an inverter in my truck, or does it have a refrigerator. Doing your homework means find out everything good about the company, find out everything bad about the company, and then make an informed decision based on those two elements before you accept the job there. Alright, rant over. I don't know how long it's gone because I'm not looking at the clock on it, but you know, agree or disagree, it's up to you. Alright, until later, peace out.